Hey everyone, and welcome to this deep dive. Remember that Bill Gates quote you sent over? The one about always choosing a lazy person for a difficult job because they'll find the easy way.
Yeah, that one.
Well, we're putting it to the test today.
Sounds fun.
We found this awesome Reddit thread just packed with stories that seem to prove him right.
I'm ready. What have we got?
Okay, so are you ready for some mind-blowing examples of laziness as a problem-solving superpower?
I think so, yeah. Hit me.
Okay. This first one's about a supermarket stock boy.
Okay.
So imagine you're tasked with stocking the milk cooler, right?
Yeah.
Pretty tedious job.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But instead of, placing each individual carton one by one,
Oh, yeah.
this guy, he just takes the entire 12 pack,
Uh-huh.
shoves it in there, and just cuts the plastic off.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Boom, instant efficiency.
Yeah.
And get this, the entire store adopted his method.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. I love that. That is a perfect example.
It really makes you think, right?
Totally.
How many times are we just blindly following these routines?
Yeah.
When a simpler solution's right there.
Totally.
And it's not just about physical tasks either.
Oh.
There's a story here about a data entry intern who, let's just say, really valued his lunch break.
Oh, okay. I like this already.
This guy, he used Excel formulas to automate 99% of his work
Wow.
and still managed to outperform all of his colleagues while enjoying these 2-hour lunches.
That's incredible. Talk about working smarter, not harder.
I know, right?
That's amazing.
So it really begs the question, right? Is this laziness or is this ingenuity?
Yeah, where's the line?
Where do we draw the line?
I don't know. It's blurry.
And this guy wasn't just slacking off either. He was
Uh-uh.
developing these valuable skills.
Yeah.
Automation,
Uh-huh.
data analysis.
Right. The things that could actually launch his career,
Absolutely. Which reminds me of another story.
Oh, lay it on me.
Okay. This one's about an engineer who built an irrigation system for a nursery.
Mm.
So he automated the watering process,
Right.
and essentially engineered himself out of a job.
Oh, that's a bold move.
It is, but hold on because there's a twist.
Okay.
This whole experience actually led him to pursue a degree in engineering.
Oh, wow.
So maybe taking the easy route sometimes opens doors to these unexpected opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense if you think about it.
Yeah.
If you're that driven to make things easier, you might stumble upon something bigger
Totally.
and end up on a whole new path.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right. You ready for another one?
Yeah, hit me.
This is outside the box thinking here.
I'm intrigued.
So imagine a sagging deck.
Okay. Got it.
The normal solution would be some complex, expensive project to jack it up from below, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
But not this person.
What'd they do?
They just cut a square in the deck and lifted that section.
Oh, what? That's brilliant. So simple.
I know, right?
Why hasn't anyone thought of that before?
It really is. It's like the chemistry student who rigged up a contraption to hold a thermometer.
Wait, instead of just holding it? Oh my gosh. That's hilarious.
And even the professor was impressed.
I bet.
So these stories really show us that a lazy mindset can actually be super creative problem solving.
Yeah, because when we're motivated to avoid effort, our brains kind of go into overdrive,
Oh,
trying to find that path of least resistance.
Yeah.
And that can lead to some pretty unconventional solutions.
Yeah, the ones that other people might miss.
Exactly.
But here's where things get a little tricky.
Okay.
What happens when this efficiency thing leads to automation?
Hmm.
And then that starts replacing jobs.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Here's a story here about someone who built a data pipeline.
Okay.
It automated this process that was worth $40K a month for their company,
Wow.
which made them think, could I start my own business?
I see where they're going, yeah.
Right. But it also raises questions about the future of work, right?
For sure. What happens to the people whose jobs are fully automated?
Yeah, exactly. And there's another story that really hits home on this point about a person who was laid off because their automation made them too efficient.
Oof, yeah. That's the other side of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a cautionary tale. We have to be careful about how we approach this whole automation thing.
Absolutely.
We need to be thinking about the people who might be affected
Yeah.
and making sure we're not leaving anyone behind as we move forward.
Okay, so how about we take a break from the heavy stuff
Yeah, let's lighten the mood for a sec.
and lighten the mood with little historical lazy genius moment.
Oh, okay, I like it. Who we got?
Have you ever heard the story about young Carl Gauss?
Oh, is this the adding numbers one?
Yeah. So his teacher, right,
Yeah.
gave the class this super tedious task,
Mhm.
add all the numbers from 1 to 100,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I remember this.
thinking it would keep them busy for a while.
Right.
Right. Like little Carl, probably eager to get back to, daydreaming.
Of course.
He figures out a pattern and just solves it in seconds, leaving everyone speechless.
That's classic.
Classic example of laziness, or maybe we should call it efficiency seeking. you know?
I like that better. Efficiency seeking.
Being like a catalyst for mathematical brilliance.
Totally.
And speaking of ingenious solutions,
Yeah.
I've got another anecdote here
I'm listening.
from the Reddit thread. It's about a breadstick flipper
Okay.
at an Italian restaurant
Uh-huh.
who got tired of turning each breadstick individually.
Understandable.
Right.
Yeah.
So he came up with this brilliant time-saving technique.
Oh, did he like invent a machine or something?
Not quite, but just as impressive.
Okay.
He figured out a way to flip multiple breadsticks at once
What? No way.
with just like a single swift move.
That's amazing. That guy deserves a raise.
You know what? He did get a raise.
He did. I love that. A small one, but still.
Hey, a raise is a raise. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right for him.
So it shows that even these small innovations, right?
Yeah.
They can be recognized,
Mm-hmm.
rewarded.
You love to see it.
So maybe the lesson here is to always be on the lookout
Yeah.
for those ways to streamline our tasks.
Right. Make our lives a little easier.
And who knows, maybe we'll get a raise out of it too.
Exactly. Exactly.
Plus, it's not just about like the personal gain either.
Right.
You think about it, like throughout history, this desire for efficiency, it's driven countless innovations.
Totally. Like, where would we be without it?
I know, right? From simple tools to complex algorithms, it's all thanks to someone wanting to do things the easy way.
It's true.
Speaking of which, have you ever heard the story about the invention of the first webcam?
Oh, yeah. Something about coffee.
Yeah, engineers at Cambridge, right?
Uh-huh.
They got tired of getting up to check if there was coffee in the pot.
Classic.
So they set up a camera to stream a live feed
To their computers.
to their computers.
Oh, my gosh. That's amazing. So the webcam was born out of laziness.
Out of a desire to avoid unnecessary effort.
I love that.
It really makes you think, like, what other amazing innovations are out there
Right.
waiting to be discovered, all thanks to a little bit of laziness?
I think you're onto something. It's almost like laziness, when you use it right,
Yeah,
it can really push things forward.
absolutely.
That's a good place to stop for now, I think.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive. We've gone from supermarket stock boys to data crunching interns.
It's been a journey.
I know, right? Sagging decks to breadstick flipping geniuses.
We've seen it all.
It really seems like laziness is a much more nuanced concept
Than we give it credit for.
than we give it credit for.
Definitely.
But before we wrap up this first part, I want to hear from you.
Yes.
What are some of your milk carton moments?
Oh, yeah, good question.
Those times when you found a clever shortcut or a better way to do something.
Let us know.
Share your stories with us on social media. We'd love to hear them.
Absolutely.
Welcome back, everyone.
Hope you're ready for more.
I hope you're ready for even more, because we've got plenty more to uncover about the link between laziness and innovation.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff.
You know, it's funny. The more we go through these Reddit stories,
Mm-hmm.
the more I'm starting to see laziness not so much as a vice,
Yeah.
but like as this kind of unconventional intelligence.
Yeah, it's like they have this knack for just cutting through all the noise
Right.
and getting to the heart of the problem.
Yeah, and finding those like elegant solutions.
The ones that other people just, they wouldn't even think of.
Totally.
They're so focused on doing things the right way.
Right.
They miss the easier path.
Yeah, it's like they have this sixth sense for efficiency.
That's a good way to put it.
I know, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like that data entry intern,
Oh,
right?
yeah, him. He was a classic.
Automating his work with those Excel formulas.
I still can't get over that. 99% of his work. It's amazing.
He wasn't just being lazy, he was recognizing patterns
Exactly.
and manipulating the system,
Like a pro.
which is a skill in itself.
Oh, absolutely. And it's a valuable one, too.
Absolutely.
Especially these days,
Yeah.
with all the data flying around.
It's crucial.
You need to be able to see the patterns, connect the dots.
Finance, healthcare, even marketing, it's everywhere.
It is. It's like the secret ingredient to success these days.
I mean, even that breadstick flipper, right?
Oh, yeah. It's proficiency.
He was observing a pattern.
He was.
Finding a better way to do something.
Multiple breadsticks at once. I still want to know how he did it.
I know.
It's genius.
It's amazing.
Makes you wonder what other tricks are out there.
I know. But it also brings up a bit of a thought-provoking question.
Oh, okay. I'm listening.
As technology keeps advancing and we have all these tools to automate our lives, right?
Uh-huh.
Is there a risk of becoming too reliant on convenience?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, automation can free up our time
Right.
for more creative pursuits.
More time to be lazy.
Exactly.
Mm.
But on the other hand, are we losing some essential skills
You think?
in the process?
Like what? Give me an example.
Critical thinking abilities.
Yeah, I see what you mean. It's like if you never have to solve a problem yourself,
Yeah,
you might forget how to think for yourself.
exactly.
That's a little scary when you think about it.
It is.
It's a tough one. Like, I love the idea of having more free time, but not if it means becoming a robot.
Right.
We need to find that balance, I think.
And that story from the Reddit thread.
Oh, yeah, the guy who automated himself out of a job.
Yeah. That's a bit of a wake-up call, right?
Yeah, it definitely highlights the downsides of efficiency gone too far.
It's a reminder that we need to be adaptable,
Uh-huh.
constantly learning.
Yeah, the world's changing so fast.
Yeah,
We gotta keep up.
we've got to keep up.
You snooze, you lose, as they say.
Exactly. But before we go too far down that road,
Yeah,
let's come back to this idea of lazy genius for a second.
back to our favorite topic.
I think there's a crucial element we haven't really touched on.
Oh, what's that?
Intentionality.
Oh, interesting.
It's not just about finding shortcuts,
Right.
just the sake of it.
It's got to be more than that. Like, there's got to be a reason.
True lazy genius
Yeah,
involves being strategic with your effort.
I like that. Strategic laziness.
Yeah, it's not just about being lazy.
Uh-huh.
It's about being lazy smart.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm following you. So, like, what does that look like in practice?
So it's about identifying those areas where you can have the most impact
Right.
and finding the most efficient ways to achieve your goals.
So it's not just about doing less. It's about doing less of the wrong things.
Exactly.
And more of the things that actually matter.
By Carl Gauss,
Right.
finding that shortcut to add up all those numbers. That wasn't just laziness.
Pure genius.
It was brilliant.
Exactly. It's laziness with a purpose.
Laziness with a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings us to a really important question.
Hit me.
How can we apply this lazy genius mindset
Ooh, yeah.
to our own lives?
The $1,000,000 question.
Right.
I'm all ears.
So I think it starts with becoming more aware of our tendencies.
Okay. Yeah. Like, what are the things we put off?
Yeah, what are those tasks that we dread, the things we procrastinate on?
Right. Because those are the things that are just begging to be optimized.
Exactly.
Like, maybe there's a better way to do them that we just haven't thought of yet.
Yeah, those might be like the area is ripe for a lazy genius solution.
Ripe for the picking. I like it.
Maybe it's automating a repetitive task
Right.
or finding a more efficient way to manage your to-do list.
Totally.
Or even just like, reorganizing your closet so you can find what you need quickly.
Oh, see, now you're talking my language.
Right. It's all about making our lives a little bit easier, a little bit smoother.
Without sacrificing quality, of course. We still want to do good work, but why make it harder than it needs to be?
Exactly.
It's about working smarter, not harder.
Working smarter, not harder. I like that.
I think it was Bill Gates who said that, actually.
You think so? It sounds familiar.
Maybe we should fact check that. Or, we could just be lazy and assume it's true.
Yeah, let's go with that. So it's not just about being lazy. It's about reframing our relationship with laziness.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Instead of seeing it as this negative thing, we can embrace it.
Embrace it.
Turn it into a strength.
Yeah, turn it into a superpower.
Exactly. It's about using our natural inclinations to our advantage.
Like those kids in school who always found a way to finish their work the fastest.
Oh, yeah, the ones who are always doodling in their notebooks.
Yeah, not because they weren't capable, but because they figured out the most efficient way.
The shortcut.
They were the original lazy geniuses.
My OGs.
The OGs.
I love that. It's like they were just ahead of their time.
Totally.
Hmm.
So maybe the first step, right, is to identify those areas
Uh-huh.
where we can put our lazy genius to work.
Exactly. Find those milk carton moments.
The milk carton moments.
Remember that from our first segment.
Yes, where we can streamline a process, find a shortcut.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to experiment. Try different things.
And you never know what brilliant solutions you might come up with.
Exactly. You got to think outside the box.
So it's like we've got this whole community of lazy geniuses out there.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
A whole tribe.
Constantly coming up with
We're
solutions,
everywhere.
and we can learn from each other, share our stories.
Right. We can build on each other's ideas, collaborate.
But I think there's one last question, right,
Okay.
that we need to address.
Lay it on me.
What happens when our lazy genius solutions start to impact others?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Like our actions have consequences, right?
And remember that story about the data pipeline?
Oh, right. The person who was thinking about starting their own business.
Yeah. So it sparked all these thoughts about like starting their own business, but it also brings up these ethical considerations, you know?
Definitely. Like, who owns that technology? The person who created it or the company they were working for?
Right.
It gets messy.
And it reminds us that these lazy genius solutions,
Right.
they can have unintended consequences.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's not always easy to see them coming.
So it's not just about finding the easiest way, it's about making sure that our solutions are responsible.
Exactly. We got to think about the bigger picture.
The bigger picture,
It's not just about us.
not just about us.
Yeah. So it sounds like this lazy genius concept, right?
Yeah.
While seemingly simple at first, it's actually pretty multifaceted.
It is, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
not just about being lazy. It's about being smart, being ethical.
Yeah. It's about efficiency, innovation, ethics, and even a little bit of self-awareness. Totally. Knowing yourself, knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses.
It's about harnessing our natural inclination, right?
Yeah.
To avoid effort, but then channeling it into this force for positive change.
Exactly. It's like we're not just being lazy for the sake of being lazy. We're being lazy to make the world a better place.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this second part.
We have.
We've gone deeper into this idea of lazy genius and all of its implications.
And I think we're just getting started.
But there's still one question that I have,
Okay.
and I'm sure our listeners do too.
Shoot.
In a world that's rapidly changing, how can we cultivate
Yeah.
and apply our own lazy genius
Oh.
to not only thrive, but to make a meaningful impact?
That is a fantastic question, and one that I think deserves a whole segment of its own.
Yeah, that really is the key question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, how do we take all these cool stories and actually make them work for us?
It's a good question, and I think it starts with remembering that it's not about being passive, you know, or like avoiding work altogether. It's about being intentional.
So it's almost like strategic laziness.
Exactly. It's like we all have limited time and energy, right? So we got to make smart choices about where to direct that energy.
So instead of trying to do everything,
Right.
we should focus on the areas where our laziness is an asset,
Exactly.
where it can actually like lead to those innovative solutions.
Where can your desire to find a shortcut actually make a difference?
Totally. And I think that's where self-reflection comes in.
Oh, for sure.
You got to analyze your work habits, your daily routines, and be honest with yourself, you know?
Totally. Like, what are the things you're putting off? What are the tasks that make you want to run for the hills?
Because those might be the areas where our lazy genius is like hiding.
Right. Like, maybe there's a better way to do it. You just
Yeah.
haven't thought of it yet.
It's like we've got to reframe our relationship with laziness.
I like that.
Instead of seeing it as like this bad thing,
Right.
embrace it, you know?
Yeah. Turn it into a strength.
Turn it into a superpower.
Exactly. It's about working with your natural tendencies, not against them.
It's like those kids in school
Yeah.
who always finish their work first.
Oh, yeah. The ones who always knew the shortcuts.
Yeah, they weren't just being lazy, they were being efficient.
They were the original lazy geniuses.
They were.
Way ahead of their time.
So maybe the first step is to just identify those areas
Uh-huh.
where we can put our lazy genius to work,
Yeah.
you know? Like maybe it's automating a task at work or finding a better way to manage your to-do list.
Yeah. Or even just like cleaning out your inbox so you can actually find what you need.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Right. It's all about making life a little bit easier.
And you never know, you might come up with some pretty brilliant solutions along the way.
Exactly. You just got to be open to trying new things and like not being afraid to break the rules a little bit.
So it's like we've got this whole community of lazy geniuses out there.
Oh, yeah. We're everywhere.
And we can all learn from each other, right?
For sure, share our tips and tricks.
Inspire each other to, embrace this unconventional way of thinking.
Totally. It's a movement.
It's a movement.
Lazy geniuses unite.
Okay, well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive into laziness and innovation. We hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
And remember, embrace your inner lazy genius.
Find those shortcuts, automate those tasks, and don't be afraid to think outside the box.
You never know what you might come up with. And until next time, stay curious and strategically lazy.